Do your figure drawings ever feel kind of meh? You nailed the anatomy, proportions are spot on, but still something's off. It just doesn't grab you. It might even look chaotic with no clear path for the eye to follow. Don't worry, you're not alone, and it's definitely not your fault. Stick with me to the end of this video, and I'll give you a simple, battle-tested plan to turn those ho-hum sketches into figure drawings that actually pop and feel alive and that people can't take their eyes off of. So let's get going. Hey there, I'm Mike. I'm a former Walt Disney animation artist. Yep, I had the privilege of working on some of the greatest animated films of all time, and also the incredibly good fortune to learn how to draw the human figure dynamically from Disney legends Walt Stanchfield and Glenn Vilppu. Now I know you love sketching the human figure, but sometimes they come out looking rigid and kind of lifeless. Before we continue with this video, I want to put something really valuable into your hands that is going to make a big difference in your figure sketches right away. It's a completely free PDF called 7 Sketching Principles That Bring Your Figure Drawings to Life. And it includes so much of the wisdom I gained from my Disney teachers. So, if all that sounds great to you, click on the link in the video description below to get your free sketching guide, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on my next video. So let's get started. Hey, real talk for a second here. If you've ever sat there staring at your figure sketch thinking, this just looks meh, kind of stiff, kind of boring, and then you tried to fix it by throwing in more anatomy, more shading, fancier hatching, heavier lines, lighter lines, whatever, and it still didn't pop the way you wanted it to. I just want you to know that you're not alone, and it's not your fault. I've been there right with you, frustrated out of my mind, pages full of drawings that kind of looked like the model but felt totally dead on the paper. I'd grind on the anatomy, the foreshortening, all that stuff, and yeah, technically it got better, but it never felt alive, never felt appealing. I thought the answer was draw more accurately, or add more detail, or render the heck out of it. Turns out I was looking in completely the wrong place. The fix wasn't more anatomy, and it wasn't better shading, and it wasn't even drawing for more hours. The fix was way simpler, and honestly, way more fun. It was learning to see and design the pose instead of just copying it. And that's exactly what we're going to unlock together in this video, and in the whole static to dynamic system, my core system. So if you've ever felt that frustration, stick with me. By the end of this, you're going to look at your sketches and actually feel excited about them, because they're finally going to feel like your drawings and not just some photocopies of the model. Let's fix this thing together, starting right now. Are you ready? Let's go. Stick around until the end of this video, because by the time it's over, you'll finally understand exactly why your figure drawings feel stiff, awkward, or just off. Even if the anatomy is correct, I'm going to show you one ridiculously simple but game-changing idea that Walt Stanchfield, the legendary Disney animator who trained an entire generation of artists, drilled into his students to make every pose instantly more appealing. Plus, I'll give you a handful of dead simple, actionable tips you can try in your very next sketching session and see dramatic improvement before you even finish the page. Trust me, after this, your figures won't just be correct, they'll actually feel alive. Let's dive in. Over my decades of teaching figure drawing, I've had hundreds of students walk up to me looking totally defeated. They say the same thing. Mike, I've got the anatomy right, but my drawings just sit there. They're flat. They don't pop. They don't feel alive. I get it, because I've stared at those same lifeless pages myself. The good news? I've watched those same exact students completely turn their work around. Not with some fancy rendering trick, but with one mindset shift that changes everything, treating every figure drawing like a piece of design. My old Disney teacher, the legendary Walt Stanchfield, you've probably heard of his books Drawn to Life, hammered this into us. The secret sauce is to simplify and design with big, bold, simple shapes. When you stop robotically copying every muscle and edge and instead start thinking like a designer, asking, how can I make this pose read clearly and feel exciting? Magic happens. You get invested. You get playful. Suddenly the drawing has rhythm, flow, and personality. I've seen shy, frustrated beginners crank out sketches that make people stop and go, whoa, just by embracing these simple but crazy powerful ideas. Stick around and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Your figures are about to come alive and leap off the page. Hey guys, welcome back and buckle up, because this one is the absolute foundation of everything we do in dynamic figure drawing. This is Principle 1 in my Static to Dynamic course. And yeah, it's number 1 for a reason. Here it is, super simple. Before you ever put down a single line, you have to look at that crazy, complicated, beautiful figure pose and ask yourself, where's the simplicity hiding in all this complexity? Because it's always there, always. Your very first marks on the page need to be those big, bold, stupidly simple shapes, straights and arcs. That's it. If you skip this step and just start noodling in all the details, you're going to get lost in the weeds really fast. Your drawing will have no backbone, no punch, and zero of that magical, eye-grabbing contrast we all want. Straight, blasting up against curve. Big clear shapes equals instant appeal. Clarity reads from across the room. Simplicity communicates like a megaphone. Overcomplicated too early? You just made your drawing quieter, muddier, and way less fun to look at. Walt Stanchfield, who I was so lucky to study with, used to hammer this into us every single class. He said, we have to abstract the essence of the pose. Abstract equals, or just means, simplifying down to the big abstract shapes. And the essence equals, what's the story this pose is dying to tell? So when we draw, we're not copying anatomy. We're storytelling through simplification. We're hunting for the straight that stretches, the arc that squashes, the one killer angle that says everything. I promise you, the first time you really see that simplicity inside the complexity, that's it. Game over. You can't unsee it. Every pose from that day forward will scream its big, simple shapes at you, begging to be drawn. It just takes a little practice and a little imagination. So right now, let's do it together. Look at this pose. This is one of the world's most famous statues that's right here in Florence, Italy, where I created my online course, Static to Dynamic. As you're looking at it, don't see arms, legs, muscles, none of that yet. Just breathe, squint a little if you have to, and tell me. Where's the big straight or big straights? Where's the killer curves smashing into it? What 2 or 3 shapes tell the whole story? This is a demo sketch that I made to talk about Principle 1 for my Static to Dynamic online course. See how I kept it really simple? So about those straights and curves, this is where I saw the big curves, big and bold. And this is where I saw the straights thrusting upward with force as he whisks away the fair damsel. See how the clashing of these big, simple shapes makes this pose so dynamic? So now that you've seen the shapes here, you can't unsee them. And I know you'll see them again the next time you sketch a pose. I want to share something that totally changed how I think about drawing. And I promise it'll do the same for you. So here's a fun little thing. The Italian word, the verb for draw, to draw, is disegnare. Disegnare. Now look at it again. Move a few letters around in your head and boom, you get the word design. That's not a coincidence, guys. Back in the Italian Renaissance, especially the Florentine Renaissance, the artist wasn't just some human photocopier standing there tracing what he saw. No, the artist was a creator. He was designing the pose on the page. He decided how the figure should feel, how the energy should flow, how the shapes should play off of each other. The drawing was his vision, literally, disegno, design. And guess what? We get to do exactly the same thing today. We're not copy machines. We're designers. And guess what? We get to do exactly the same thing today. We're not copy machines. We're designers. Our job isn't to hunt for perfect contour lines on the model and obediently trace them. Our job is to look at the pose and ask, okay, what's the story here? Where can I push some straights against curves? Where can I simplify these shapes so they bounce off each other and create contrast, tension, life? Because, and I'm just going to drop a Walt Stanfield quote here that I live by, without tension, there is no drawing. Seriously, dead on accurate. In my static to dynamic course, we call this Principle 6, designing with straights and curves. Walt had this great note he called elastic band tension, and he wrote something like this: if you're looking for lines on the model to divulge something to copy, they may not always be there. You have to look for the story in the tensions, the twists, the stretches, those beautiful straights, and the squashes, those juicy curves that will reveal the story. To show you what I mean about designing, here's another statue and demo sketch that I made for my online course. Before I started drawing the pose, I looked hard at it, asking myself where I could push some curves and where I could push some straights to design my drawing. After a while, I saw this beautiful long curve, and these two straights actually just jumped out at me. So instead of trying to copy what I saw, I used my imagination and creativity to create my own appealing interpretation of the pose. So next time you're in front of a pose, don't ask, what do I see? Ask, what do I want this drawing to feel like? How am I going to design it? Straight against curve, stretch against squash, tension everywhere. That's how we go from copying to creating. That's how we disegnare, how we design. Whoa, that was fun. If you had a blast and actually learned something from this video, you're going to love what's coming next. Check out my next video for even more drawing magic to level up your skills. And before you go, don't forget to get your free dynamic figure sketching guide by clicking on the link in the video description below. Oh, and don't be shy, smash that share button to spread the love to your fellow sketch warriors, and hit subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Catch you in the next one, and keep those pencils dancing.